Hey guys, welcome to another episode of El Jefe Shop Shop. This week, finally got my Leyland. Alright, I got a little bit of footage of when this thing was dropped off, but it is completely useless because I was too excited. It's finally here. It's finally here. Leyland! So this thing is really cool. This is a Leyland that I've been trying to buy for 5 months. Almost to the day, 5 months. So when Mitchell came over and he bought that Hi-Ace and he drove it back to Sydney, this is what we found on the way home. Say 1970 something because it's a Leyland. Leyland FG. So they came as a BMC in the 50s, they came as an Austin in the 60s and a Leyland in the 70s from what I can tell. And it has weird windows where your feet go, and it has suicide 45-degree doors on the back. So I'm going to wash this thing. Let's see how it comes out. Alright, a quick wash does wonders. I have found all the bog, which I knew was already here, but this whole piece is kind of boggy. It's gives me a little bit worried, but we'll see how we go. This side looks really good. The front window leaks, which I sort of expected. The roof has a good old dent in it, which I will try and show you. Can't really tell how deep that is, but it's a pretty big dent. And then the back of the cab's all really good. And then I got rid of some bugs off of the door handles. And you can go inside. So as you can see, this is on a weird angle on the back of the cab. Also opens backwards. And then it's got some weird aftermarket seats. I took the engine cover off yesterday. But you can see it's all pretty bare in here. So we've got a nice engine cover. Nice engine, which is I assume a 345. For reasons, but I haven't looked into it. I want to try and get this thing running just for a laugh and then try and drive it, which will be ridiculous because I cannot drive this thing, surely. I assume it's synchro gearbox, so it shouldn't really be too hard. I imagine it doesn't have any brakes though, so that could be a problem. And then coming around, these windows slide down, these ones open up, and then those two are fixed. The ones in the bottom are fixed, obviously. And we've got all the dash and all the switches and everything. A lot of the switches are there, which is quite strange. And then there's a few on the front, obviously. Someone's added some down here. And the handbrake and the gear stick and all that sort of stuff. So let's go around to the other side. And I'll try and show you a bit better. So this little flap here is for the radiator cap. It's pretty cool. And then coming around this side, I parked it in the worst spot, so I want to try and push it back and over so that like one side is against the shed so I can actually get in the other side. So the idea of these doors is that when you're in like alleyways and stuff, the door actually doesn't open up very much past the side of the truck. You can see it opens a little bit further, but not very much. And then the other idea of it is you can stand on the step shielded by the truck until you know that you're good to go in the traffic. So this is the door handle to open and close the door. So you just pull that. And then a weird thing is the window. So the window actually just pulls down. There's no winder or anything, it just pulls. So then to do that you have to unlock this and then pull the window down. And then getting it back up, I don't know how you're really supposed to do it. Unless you can, yeah, I don't know. I just pushed it up yesterday and then locked it again. But it's wet now so I can't do that. And then I don't know how you're supposed to lock it either. I assume you don't. There is a lock on the door, so maybe you're just supposed to lock it from the outside. So we'll see. Oh, that side's got a lock. That side's got a lock just in front of the door handle. So there's probably supposed to be a lock just in there somewhere. We've got a master cylinder of some description just there. Assume that's brakes. And then jump in the truck. We got a few weird stuff, bits and pieces going on there. Something leaks pretty good. And then we've got the panel lights, the wipers, another switch here. We've got miles per hour, as was the start on the times. We've got vacuum, and then we've got amps and oil. I assume that's kilograms per centimeter cubed. Yep, I'd say that's pressure. So then we got, I assume this is the key, but I'm not 100% sure. Could be the headlights, could be anything. Just kind of looks like, oh, it's a weird switch. I'll work that one out as well. And then I assume this one's indicators. Yep. So I don't know what this one is. The panel lights, which I assume is the like headlights and stuff. The wipers. So this one may be the ignition, but it doesn't spring. It just rolls. So we'll see. We'll work that out later. We've got some switches added down here. I assume that one's probably your starter these days. Maybe ignition, starter. And that one's a light of some description. With a wiper bottle back here, which is kind of collapsed. And then the straight 6. Don't know anything about this, otherwise I'll tell you. There's a tiny little carby on it. And it's got a coil, so it's probably the original setup, I imagine. So it says Austin on top of the rocker cover, which makes sense because this was a BMC Austin Leyland, because they were all the same company at some point. We've got a brand new radiator hose up there, which is kind of strange. And everything else looks pretty standard. There's nothing really out of the place except for these switches down here. I assume that's the choke, which is not very attached. And then looks like the side panels pop out pretty easy. That's probably to service and maintain. So you should probably just pull these out, and then you can get to the sides and get your manifolds off, or get your spark plugs or whatever, get your tools in there. So I'm sure we'll be experiencing that later. And I'm going to try and get this thing running, but we'll give it a go a bit later. Another cool thing is the shift pattern is embossed into the engine hatch. So you can actually, like, it's actually there forever. And it says reverse is lift, which you can possibly see. You can lift it up, get it into reverse, neutral, first, second, third. Doesn't want to come out of third, fourth. Pretty cool. There's a weird tab just there which maybe holds the window open. I'd say that's to hold the window open. This side was there, but it's broken off. So when you open up the window, it clicks in, I imagine. That's pretty cool old truck. I really am keen for this thing. As for the roof, it looks like it's fine, but it's been collapsed from the outside. This light's in pretty good nick, and the switch still feels like it's working pretty nicely. So it's a bunch of stuff to clean up obviously, but it's really cool and I'm super pleased. These seats kind of suck though, so they're gonna go. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna give it a go. There is a tyre down there, just for anyone that's worried. Let's see if I can move this thing by pushing it. Easy, easy. Alright, let's go. Alright, it's steering the wrong way, so I'm gonna have to jump out and turn the truck the other way. Alright, I've jumped in and out of the truck like 5 times. I think we got it pretty good. Oh, I stopped pretty good. Got about 6 inches on the back, 12 inches on the back or something like that. And then we're nice and close to that wall over there, which means I have lots of room on this side to actually get in and work on stuff. The door opens nicely, and then I can get in here. I'll probably rip the seats out so I've got a bit more room, and then probably open the other door for ventilation because it's a bit stinky in here, but overall that's pretty good. So if you're new here, you're probably wondering what the hell am I doing with this thing? Well, the plan is, no time soon, probably about 1.5 years, gonna put this cab on this truck with that service body. So we're going to end up with a 2007 Isuzu NPR 200 with a 70 something Leyland body, and then remove this tray and put on this service body that I picked up when I was in Victoria last week. So this service body probably doesn't look very exciting. It's currently just drying out, but it's got a bunch of different compartments, a few drawers, and then more compartments, just heaps of spots for tools and straps and accessories, all the crap that you need to take with you when you're doing truck things. Can't get past here, of course. So more compartments, and more drawers, and there's more compartments at the bottom there. Then there is a gap the whole way through the middle, which is going to come into a massive help down the line, because what I'm going to do is push the engine back behind the cab so that the Leyland has a nice big clean floor, nice smooth floor. So the engine from the Isuzu will actually sit recessed back into the cab a little bit, and then the semi-fuel tanks that Luke and I bought a few months ago, one of them going to go in here as well. So you end up with a engine, fuel tank, small bit of tray, and then a bunch of cupboards down either side, possibly a rooftop tent on top, and yeah, a bunch of other stuff to come. There's another container here, another compartment here that goes all the way to the front. I'm probably going to have to cut this whole tray down the middle and move it, make it a bit wider. So when I do that, I'll probably lose that cupboard, but another problem for another day. So for now, what I'm going to do is just try and play that Leyland and get it running. Maybe not today, but we'll get to it. And then just leave it where it is. And then when I get to it, rip the cab off this guy, rip the cab off that guy, get stuff happening. God, it's an ugly, cool thing. Alright, so I'm just editing the last of the Leyland video, and I didn't put in an outro. So that's all for this video with the Leyland. Thank you very much for watching. I'm very excited to get into this project, but it's going to be a while away. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.